Hey guys, Ghost here, Dave here with another Destiny 2 weapon review. Today we're going to be looking at a weapon that is still relatively new, seeing as it did come out in the current season, the Season of Opulence, and that weapon's going to be this Void fusion rifle we're rocking right here, the Epicurean. For those of you who don't know, the Epicurean is a Void precision frame, 740 charge time fusion rifle. Precision Frame states that this weapon's recoil pattern is more predictably vertical, however we'll talk about that more in the video. We got Hammerforged Rifling for our first perk, which is increased range. Particle Repeater as our battery option with increased stability. For our first perk, we have Quick Draw, which means this weapon can be drawn unbelievably fast. And in conjunction with that, our second perk is Backup Plan, which grants reduced charge time and increased handling speed for a short duration upon swapping the weapon. We got a range masterwork, and I fully masterworked it, and our mod socket of choice is going to be the counterbalance stock, because I do believe the counterbalance stock is the best mod option for the Epicurean fusion rifle here, and most fusion rifles currently in the game. So the Epicurean is the Menagerie fusion rifle, so in case you are wondering how to get this, you can only get it from doing regular or heroic runs of the Menagerie. And you gotta slot your chalice with a blue fusion rifle rune, then a green rune, and then for your final one, I highly recommend another green rune, because it is going to give you that guaranteed range masterwork, and range is really good on fusions, because while fusions technically have an infinite amount of range that they're going to travel, fusion rifles, as range goes on, their projectile, their bolts spread out more and more, and a higher range stat is going to prevent them from spreading out at range. So that's how you get the gun, but you might be thinking, so why did I go for this weapon? And the answer to that is actually lies in Armor 2.0. So as we know, in Shadowkeep, we're getting a huge armor overhaul that changes the way we apply perks and all that, and certain perks are tied to certain polarities. If you want to see more on that, I highly recommend going and looking up a video on it, because I definitely do not have enough time in this Epicurean video to explain all of that. But the point being is, I currently run the Retold Tale with all of my auto rifles because I believe that that is the weapon that pairs with it best. However, in order to do that, I'm going to lose optimization of my auto rifles, which I really do prefer to be the star of the show. So the weapon that's polarity matches auto rifles for the special slot ended up being fusion rifles. So I needed a good fusion rifle, and I decided, hey, why not? I'm going to go ahead and stream the Menagerie over at twitch.tv/GhostTierDave and just go and see if I can get a great Epicurean. You may also be thinking, but the Erentol you can also get from the Menagerie, and I've heard the Erentol is a really good fusion rifle, and yeah, the Erentol is an incredible fusion rifle. However, that's the point. I've seen and heard the Erentol more and more and more recently, and I'm always the type of person who likes to try and see if maybe there's a reason that another weapon is currently not being seen, or if another weapon is just not being seen because people haven't heard of it yet. And I do think the Epicurean is one of those weapons where it's something that people are sleeping on because it ended up being incredibly strong. As of the game you're watching right here, I haven't even had this fusion rifle for over 24 hours yet, and I already had over 200 kills on this weapon. And a majority of those kills happened live on stream, because the second I got this weapon dropped for me, the role that I was looking for, I immediately masterworked it and took it right into the Crucible to see how it fared against other weapons. And as you can see, and as I saw, it fared incredibly well and did exactly what I was hoping it would be able to do. So I mentioned we were going to talk about the frame of this weapon, the precision frame that claims that the recoil direction is going to be predictably more vertical, and that's what we're going to do right now. For those of you who don't know, currently we have found out that recoil direction is a very interesting and very wonky stat here in Destiny 2, because a higher number does not simply mean that the weapon is going to kick more vertically. A higher number means that the weapon is going to kick less, that's true. However, for a weapon to kick more vertically, it needs to end in a 5. So the precision frame that claims that it has it here is actually ending in a 0, because its recoil direction by default is 80. That means that when you fire this weapon, the shots are actually going to tilt to the right. When you hold down the trigger and fire a burst of the Epicurean, more than likely it is going to burst to the right more often than it's going to burst up or burst to the left. I mentioned a counterbalance mod is the best mod on this weapon, and that is because adding a counterbalance mod changes it from 80 to 95, which means that this weapon is going to fire more vertically, meaning that it actually then has the precision frame it claims to have, and it means it's much easier to get your long range, or just in general, get your voops off on your opponent. So the other major takeaway you should take from a precision frame is that you're going to be doing 39 damage per bolt. For those of you who don't know, all fusion rifles shoot 7 bolts, which means you only need to land 5 out of your 7 to get a kill against all resiliences of Guardians, which is actually really good. Being allowed to miss 2 of them is really nice, and if you get a perk such as Liquid Coils, it changes your damage to 40 per bolt. However, that does not actually change your bolts to kill, but it is still nice nonetheless, because that means that you're doing directly more damage, meaning let's say your ally only gets 1 shot in, it's going to allow you to potentially get that 4 bolt kill depending on what type of weapon your ally shot. So as you can tell, this weapon is incredibly solid. It has a relatively fast charge time, it has a good bolts to kill, and it has plenty of great rolls. Specifically for me here, I was looking for this exact roll because I wanted a fusion rifle that had good stability and good range, so it was easy to control and could put decent damage in at range without just completely mapping people. And I was looking for a quick draw backup plan because my special weapons I definitely prefer to be a way of dealing with shotguns. Obviously, as I mentioned, my retool tail is what I normally use. I use it with quick draw because it shuts down shotguns incredibly well, and so does the Epicurean here with quick draw backup plan. In fact, I would say it probably shuts down shotguns just as well, along with allows me to put in a little bit more damage at range. Other great rolls you could have, if you want one of those fusion rifles that is able to absolutely map people at range, you could just be looking for tap the trigger or under pressure, because those are going to make the stability so high that this weapon is barely going to kick whatsoever. Obviously counterbalance stock again, and then for your battery, probably either Liquid Coils, or you're going to be looking for projection fuse, because once again, that deals with the range issue. It also rolls rangefinder, which is going to increase your zoom magnification, give you more range, and make the weapon more accurate at range, which means your bolts are going to be more clustered and make it easier to get those mapping kills. So that's just another great perk that this weapon can have. But personally, with my roll, I would say that this weapon does exactly what I need it to. It deals with people trying to rush me with shotguns, and because of backup plan allowing me to get off 2 bursts, there are definitely some moments where I can win a 1v2 as long as I don't miss my shots. If I'm being rushed by 2 people, there's a good chance I'm going to be able to kill both of them before either of them have enough reaction time to kill me back. Which means this weapon's going to be great for getting me out of bad positions when I'm playing too aggro or the enemy simply start spawning directly on top of me, both things that happen very commonly here in Destiny. Something I like to do a lot with my shotguns is pull it out at a range that I know it won't one-shot, simply to take an opponent's shield off and then finish them off with my auto rifle for that nice auto rifle elimination, and the fusion rifle allows me to do that all the same, because one of 2 things is going to happen. I'm going to pull out the fusion, I'm going to shoot them and it's going to kill them, or I'm going to shoot them and it's going to leave them 1. At that point, I have 2 options. Do I use backup plan? Do I fire another shot and I kill them? Or I can pull out my high handling auto rifles that I enjoy to use and finish them off with a quick burst of that. And while it may not do it as consistently as a weapon like the Erentil, this weapon still has the full ability to absolutely map people at range when you get a really clustered bolt spread. Along with having a faster charge time than Erentil, means that even when backup plan isn't active, you'll still potentially be able to get off 2 shots more often with this weapon than you would with an Erentil. It's popular opinion right now that the Erentil is the strongest fusion rifle right now here, and that is why it is being talked about and used more and more on an everyday basis. However, I want it to be known that after using this weapon and being incredibly impressed with it, I don't think that the Epicurean is that far behind its big brother, the Erentil. In fact, after using this weapon for literally just a day and continue to planning on using this weapon more and more because it just feels so strong and so satisfying, I really do think I have to say that the Epicurean here is pretty epic. Most of the time. It's still not a guaranteed win your duel against shotguns weapon, especially since I've only had this weapon for about 24 hours at this point, and there's definitely a lot more learning I have to do to master backup plan to kill those shotgun rushers the second they appear on my screen. Just a single pixel is all I need, but that's something I'm working on, and I'm going to continue getting better and better with this weapon. Anyways, after that and that terrible joke, I do want to go ahead and say that that's going to be the end of our video. I think I talked about every single point that I wanted to make here, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to go ahead and watch the rest of the footage, or feel free to follow me on Twitch TV/GhostYourDave, follow me on any of my other social medias, join my Discord, leave a comment, like, subscribe. All those options are either on this page or in the bio below. So anyways, I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you go and get an Epicurean, try it out, and realize that you love this gun as much as I do, because nothing would bring a better smile to my face than that.
captured. Zone advantage is yours. Only 1 minute left. A fire team that fights together stays together. Your moments of clarity are weapons, Warlock. You're pulling ahead. Keep it that way. "30 seconds. Zone A captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone B lost. "10 seconds. I could not ask for a better victory. Zone C lost. Impressive. You could give the Redjacks a lesson in territory control.